All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Munir Bahar from Core Consulting, LLC.
And I'm Teresa Hessler, CEO of Ashler Government Relations.
And we are two small business owners based out of Maryland that have put together this network called Small Biz Response. Our website is smallbizresponse.com. And this is just a grassroots network, which is a reaction to what we see happening to small businesses across America after the COVID-19 pandemic.
And so what we really want to talk about today is what you can do about it in this time of crisis and use some of our own personal experiences and really create a collective group of small business owners so that we can make our voices heard in the public sphere.
Yes, and I think what's powerful is that we as small business owners are able to respond together as a collective versus each of us kind of going through our individual pains or processes, trying to adjust to this COVID-19 era. So it's a real powerful move, I think, for us to get together as me and Teresa have joined forces to advocate not only on behalf of our own small business, but just advocate for all small businesses across America that are challenged. Not all businesses are challenged. Some businesses are still moving, but there are a lot of businesses that are challenged that have seen a decline in sales, a decline in client engagements, a decline in products being served, and it's a real frustrating time. However, with the right collective action and response, we can have our voices heard. And when I mean have our voices heard, not just to each other on social media, right? But we're talking about to the powers that are in charge of providing economic help. Our voices need to be heard, and this is why Teresa's expertise is very valuable. And so right now, Teresa, I'm going to talk in the position of a small business owner. Things are not going the way that I planned, at the beginning of the year. I'm faced with these challenges. I heard on the news that there's this thing called CARES Act, and there's some economic stimulus, and there's help for small business. But I don't, I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't gotten a PPP loan. I haven't gotten the EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So, what position do I play? What do I do as a small business owner with regards to the government's response?
And so what you're going through is not unique, unfortunately. And there's a lot of people and my colleagues within government relations, really any industry as a small business right now is being affected. And a lot of people are having problems either with the backlog of the PPP or the EIDL running out of funds and just not knowing how to navigate. And so there's this whole other thought process, and it really got the wheels in my head spinning, like, what do we do about this? And so being in government relations, a lot of what I do outside of COVID-19, and it is advocating on behalf of things where people want to change, whether it's a change in legislation, a change in being included in budgetary things. And I've found really that effective government strategy is important for all businesses. So it can help secure funding, provide laws, legislation, and positively impact any organization or business. Whether, I know we're talking about small businesses, but there's anywhere from a nonprofit to a large corporation. I specifically deal in nonprofits and small businesses. So for me, this is very much like a passion point because we need to have a voice right now. And I've always felt that I needed to be a voice on behalf of the people that don't have one. So really talking about grassroots advocacy and getting people engaged in communicating with their local and state, federal officials and electeds, letting them know that we need something done because businesses are dying, and these businesses support families, and they really are the backbone of America. So it's just important to really engage everybody in moving them forward to that grassroots advocacy. I also like to call it couch advocacy, because there's things that we can do literally from our couch in this time. So it's not as daunting as it seems as far as reaching out and getting our voices heard.
So I'm a small business owner. I'm impacted. Again, I hear there's some government help. I want to know what's going on. What are the things that I can do as a small business owner to make sure that the elected officials are hearing me, are noticing me?
Yes.
What do we have set up?
So, I mean, it used to be that advocating for something involved just rallying and protesting, but now we're living in the digital age. And I think that's a lot of what you and I kind of brainstormed on as far as smallbizresponse.com, because the second new way to advocate is it's digital. It's emailing, calling, using social media. So what you can do really is we'd like to encourage everybody to go to smallbizresponse.com and join the network.
What is that website again?
It's smallbizresponse.com, and I'm going to try to share my screen so that everybody can see exactly how to do so. Because what we're trying to do, as I already mentioned and Munir mentioned, we're trying to get a collaboration of small business owners together so that we make our voices louder, because that's where we really make an impact. So we created just this network, and we're trying to mobilize everyone so that we are not left out as these CARES Act additions are expanded on, and as state dollars are allocated. We want to make sure that that non-employer firm still has money. So under Small Biz Response, we set up Join the Movement. And that basically opts you into the website. And so we're not going to spam you, I promise. It just makes sure that your concerns are going to be voiced. And every time we create an action item through Join the Movement, you will once again it's a very easy form, but you'll just get an email saying what the next step and what the next action item is. And right.
I'm sorry, if I could just add to that real quick with this part that you're showing, Join the Movement. I just want people to understand that, we have to be connected. We have to communicate with each other in order to share in that process and be that collective voice. And that's what we're asking for. We're asking people to communicate with us. When they sign up, they're not signing up for any program or anything of that nature. We're not trying to sell anything. We are trying to collect the voices of small businesses across the country and to channel those voices towards the people who need to hear it, that are making decisions about money that should be allocated towards small businesses.
Exactly. And I appreciate you clarifying that, because both you and I have always kind of advocated on behalf of the underdog. And I know that's a passionate point for both of us. So I appreciate you pointing that out. And certainly this is like a very easy, just sign up. And that way, every time we come up with a certain tactic or action, it's here. And then the second thing we're asking people to do is within the Take Action Now. And Take Action Now is a really easy form that we've created that essentially will go directly to your elected officials, both on a state and federal level. So it has a set letter drafted already, and then you have the option to add a personal message. So once you enter your name and your address, this is just going to go directly to your elected representative, both on that state and federal. And this is just so important, because the more of us that do so, the more voices will be heard. And elected officials run on the votes of their constituents, so they are more apt to responding, and they know it's important too. And it's just important for us to show them that backing, so when they go to bat for all of us, they can show that this many people have really voiced their concerns. So that's a lot of what a couch advocacy or grassroots movement should do.
So what you've set up, so this message right here, the headline, "Don't let our small businesses die." This message will automatically be sent to my elected officials on the state and federal level just by filling out this form. And this applies to anyone, any small business across America?
It does. It does. So it's not state specific. It'll go to your specific state and all of your federal elected officials as well. So, because I think it's a two-part problem. There's federal dollars being allocated within the CARES Act and every addition that they're putting in, but then there's also the powers of the state to really use whatever funds they have, whether it's a rainy day fund or something else. We need to make sure, or grants, that small businesses and non-employer firms are covered within that.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, I know here in Baltimore, which I'm in Baltimore City, we have had, I think, two programs that the city has introduced that are providing aid for small businesses. So again, just echoing what you're saying, I think people need to really understand the power in this take action now form right here. Is that, because not everybody is a great writer, right? Not everybody knows how to exactly put their process into words and send it to their elected officials. So you've essentially set it up. You've done the hard work, and people just need to put in their information. This gets sent to the elected official, and the elected official sees the same unified message from small business owners, across the nation, and it is, or they will know. They will know that this has come from an individual business, because that's why the name and all of that stuff is there, that in those fields that you've created.
Exactly. And that's the most important thing, because it goes back to that collective voice and that collective effort. And really the power is in the numbers. And
Right.
so that really leads to kind of the next action item, which would be, if you have a Facebook account, going to Facebook, and we've created a Facebook frame. So within the Facebook frame, this is how you would change it. So I uploaded my Facebook frame the other day, but I'll go ahead and show everybody exactly how to upload it. You would essentially click onto your profile and then the camera button, and then update profile picture. And under that, you would click add frame. And so add frame, the frame that we are asking everyone to use is the Small Business Strong. You can see it's already on mine, but all you have to do is go ahead and type that in the search for themes, and it is hashtag Small Biz Strong.
And again, this is just another way of showing our collective unity, and folks using this small social media picture or icon or frame, for whatever period of time. And I'm sure most people probably know how to. It may not be coming up because yours
It's
is
not coming up because I already have it.
yeah.
I was like, thank you for pointing that out. But
Most folks who are using social media,
yeah,
are familiar with that. And again, it's just showing the power of our collective action using some collective medium. Everybody's on social media more than ever. We can talk about it, we can vent, but taking the next steps is real important. And that's what Teresa and I have set up for, again, any small business owner. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what product, what service you're selling, you are affected and you are important to the solution of how we move our economy forward, how we, I don't want to say take care of, because as entrepreneurs, we take care of ourselves per se, but in a national crisis where the national factors have shut business down, then there is a sense of a federal, state, a government responsibility to assist business owners in recovering and moving forward. And we all can be a part of that process. And again, Teresa, if you want to, well, I mean, not if you want to, but kind of tell folks again, sort of quickly, what those steps are, and what's the one, what's the two, what's the three?
Yeah, so I think goes back to the first step is really going to smallbizresponse.com and joining the movement. Because once you join the movement, we're going to keep you in the loop with all of our action items, not just the ones we talked today, because they're going to continue to evolve as the whole situation's going to evolve. We're both small business owners, so we're keeping on it. We're in the same boat. The second one is to take action. We'll continue to have different action items too. So the message right now might change a week or 2 weeks from now or a month from now, because the need is going to change. And we want to continue to make sure that everyone's voices are being heard. And then we'll continue with the branding. So number 3, keeping with that Facebook frame. I think showing an overall, like we see with any major crisis, everybody changes kind of their
Right,
profile image to support each other.
right,
And this is one way that we can support our fellow small business firms. And using the hashtag small business strong, small biz strong, to kind of go ahead and match that Facebook frame will cohesively spread the awareness, and not just on our business pages, but I think on our personal pages too, as we continue to have an open and very candid conversation with our peers. Because the more people we can get involved, even if they aren't directly a small business owner, they're our families, our friends, but they love us and they want to see us, be included in this, because we are one group being left out. It's very important for them to be aware of that as well. So I think
right.
those are really my top 4 for now, and will get us a really good firm foundation.
Yeah, so again, I want to reiterate for people, but before we end this message, Small Biz Response is the website, smallbizresponse.com. On that website, you can join the movement just by putting in some basic information about you and your business. Again, we aren't selling anything. We are trying to collect energy and motivation and the stories of small businesses across the country. 3, you can take action by actually sending a crafted message to your elected officials, right, which is powerful. Let the state representatives know, let your federal representatives know that you are important. And then lastly, you can join us in collectively branding this movement of Small Biz Strong on Facebook, and using a hashtag on any forms of social media. We have Small Biz Strong on Instagram, on Twitter. It's Small Biz Respond, just because the amount of characters. So just want to encourage people to take part in this. Don't just sit back. Don't just sit on social media and air your complaints. If you've applied for the loans and you haven't heard anything yet, if your business has been shut down, like many of the people who have joined the movement so far, Teresa, we've been reading their stories about what they're going through, and it's devastating. It's very devastating to read these stories of the individuals and their families, what it means to their families and their businesses. So we want everybody to take this movement serious. This isn't a griping or a venting session. This is a strategic action forward of raising the level of awareness of what's happening to small businesses, and collectively how our government can support us moving forward. So just want everybody to know that this is here, Small Biz Response, and together we are Small
Small
Biz
biz
Strong.
strong.
Have a good one, everyone.